The biggest mistake people make is that they think they have to build a business and we gotta invest into this first and that first, and we gotta make a website and all these things I mentioned before. The biggest issue with that is that you're thinking way too big. Yeah, that's not how you start a business. Maybe if you already have started a few businesses beforehand, then it might make sense because you already got the experience and the skill set and just the general, confidence and speaking skills and communication skills to make it happen way faster and easier. If you're just starting out, however, it is a lot more important to first figure out one problem you're gonna fix for one person or one company. And in order to figure out who you're gonna help and what you're gonna solve, I made the one-page offer blueprint. So the whole point of this is that you make your offer so good, people feel stupid saying no, like they actually lose something, or that, it's an offer they cannot refuse. That's the idea behind it. But first, you gotta understand the person you're selling to. Now, I always say go for maximum 3 niches or 3 avatars, not anything more than that. So you can focus on the law firms, on real estate, and another one, right? And then make them as specific as possible. So you gotta know, the verticality of the industry. So dental clinics doing 1 million plus a year in California, or law firms doing 200,000 plus in Minnesota, for example, or Australia. Like, don't forget, you can also go outside the US, although the US is still the best place to go. And of course, decision maker. So the actual owner, practice manager, or head of marketing, or the COO, it really depends on what you're targeting with that. And of course, the hair on fire problem. Low patient bookings, no shows, revenue stuck, but you can also think about customer satisfaction being very low, turnaround time from a customer coming in until them actually having finished the whole process and being the service or product delivered to being very long. Another one of those issues. And also what they've tried, right? Right now, it is not unimaginable that they've already talked to someone who tried to help them with AI. And then you have to also figure that out. Like, hey, if you tried something with AI before, if you tried anything with, a supplier of AI automations before, because you want to prevent that you're going to make the exact same mistake and they're not going to be happy with that, right? That's not good. That's not good service delivery. Then we've got the cost of inaction, of course. So what are they doing if they don't solve this soon? So they lose money, they lose time, they increase the burnout rate of their the employees actually. Because you can imagine if their employees are doing this repetitive task over and over and over again, and there's already kind of, friction there. Oh, because Sandra forgot to do this and forgot to do that because it's such a annoying task to her. You can assume that she'll burn out in the next 3 to 6 months, because that's an early sign of employees either leaving or their mental health going downwards. People don't just forget things as easily as they would in this kind of situation, right? So then you can say, hey, if we don't automate this lead gen solution, or we automate this customer service part of the job, may not be very useful, and you may actually lose employees, or they may actually go into mental health type of burnout or other mental health crisis, whatever it is, right? I personally worked in customer service for a bit at a bank back in the Netherlands. People there were just leaving within 3 months. The turnaround time, or like the turnover time, I should say, per employee was pretty bad, right? So then someone comes in, you put like a 1 month of training into them, and 2 months later they just disappear because they don't care anymore. The job's too tough, this and that. But if you were able to help with AI, be like, hey, I'll have AI create a draft message every single time, so then you can be faster and focus on more higher value or more complicated customer service inquiries. That's a big help, because now their job is not as repetitive and as annoying as it would be those 8 hours or 8 hours plus even a day. So the cost of inaction is that the company would spend more money on getting new talent in, spend more time, energy, and money from management to train more people, and then once again having to have those people fall out, and then they lose money on them as well, because all the time and money and energy invested in those people for 3 months is now gone, right? That's just a sunk cost now, and then I have to start the whole process all over again, which is very expensive. Human capital is the most expensive cost any company has. If you think the software that is costing company A $200,000 a month is a lot, you don't want to know what they're paying their employees, right? Like that's going to be even higher. Then of course, the value equation. So the dream outcome multiplied by the likelihood of success divided by the time multiplied by the effort. So dream outcome is the dream state, as they would say in copywriting or in just general marketing. The dream state a client has would be great if we're able to have 40 high ticket appointments per month. Would be great if we can double the lifetime value per client. Would be great if we can lower the client acquisition cost per lead that we get in, or per client that we get in, as it says, right? And then the likelihood of success. So that's going to be your social proof, any guarantees you do, any risk reversals, right? So hey, 14-day free trial. I have the case studies to back up my pricing, right? There's people out there who at first charge $500, and then 6 months later they're able to charge $5,000 now per client because of the social proof, because of the case studies, because of the proven track record and reputation that they have to uphold. Because you can build a reputation for 30 years and it's great, but it will take 5 minutes to ruin it. That's one of the difficulties of business in general. It takes one unsatisfied customer who then leaves a bad review, or worse, sues you, and everyone else who's currently your client or has been your client, they doubt you now right away, right? It's like getting, accused of something horrible. It's literally what it is. And to make it even more relatable, if you look up a restaurant, you look at its reviews because you want to go and eat there, you see one bad review, that already makes you a bit more doubtful about going to eat there, right? That's kind of similar here, but it's more impactful because you're dealing with your volume of amount of clients and customers is not as high as the average restaurant. It's a lot lower, which means that every single review and every single customer is a lot more important than for a restaurant who handles 400 customers a day, for example. Time delay is also going to be a thing, or just time in general. When can they expect results? Is it 14 days? Is it 2 months? And of course, it depends on the complexity and all of that. But if you have a standardized offer, so as a standard, you offer one certain solution to one certain type of client, you can make it a lot shorter, a lot faster to be able to be built and to be developed and to show them right away, hey, these are the results. It was fast, wasn't it? Right? Effort sacrifice, the things that they don't have to do anymore because they're outsourcing the brain power and the work to you. And then the offer. So I'm going to go a bit faster through these parts because you can read it all for yourself. But what do you actually do? So this is what we're actually solving for. We're giving you a done-for-you appointment setting system for dental clinics. They have to do nothing. You just have to build and plug it into their system, and the system runs it. And if anything goes wrong with it, there's any issues, you'll solve it. It's not the client's problem. So that's what you're doing, right? And then the dream outcome is, hey, we can get you $50,000 in new book revenue in 60 days. And the problems you solve with that, so the pain points that you're addressing is the no-shows, low lead quality, no follow-up system, and wasted ad spend. And that is the pain points you're resolving with the tools. So the tools here, the solutions, right, is the SMS and voice follow-up, pre-qualified lead forms, AI system for booking, ad strategy, like all these things, right? And then also, because you have now automated the automatable parts, which are like, low effort or low value, someone else who has to do this themselves every day does not need to go through this anymore. So their job enjoyment is a lot higher, and the tasks they work on and their satisfaction is a lot higher as well, which makes me even more productive, right? If you love your job and you're passionate about it, you're gonna do even more to help the company. Whereas if you kind of are annoyed with the tasks you have and are repetitive and they're like the soul draining and all of that, there's a high chance you'll just, do the so-called anti-work thing where you just quiet quitting already. And you're not going to put in your best foot forward because you don't feel like your job is very rewarding or very satisfying. Then we've got the offer step. So a main offer is going to be this, right? Done for you patient booking system and some kind of a dashboard. Then you apply bonuses, right? Which help. They're not the main thing, but they're nice to have. Maybe they'll work. Sometimes they don't. But the main point is it's another value add on top of your main thing you're offering anyways. So you offer speed, you reduce the effort, and you boost success, right? And this is all value add because you're spending your time with them on a weekly basis, and you show effort and you show up. Even more important, you show up and you follow up on the client. So you're actually getting after them. And of course, the risk reversal, as mentioned, or like the guarantee, whatever you want to call it. So performance guarantee will get you at least X amount of appointments booked. You get your ROI back. So if you pay us $2,000 for this automation, you should be able to earn it back because we're generating you 10,000 revenue, for example, right? Or you work for free until you do, which is a lot riskier. But if it's your first client, it's pretty doable. Or of course, no risk 14-day trial, just so they can see how it works. Not always applicable in AI, I must say. Scarcity and urgency, old school marketing trick, right? If something is more scarce, so it's like, hey, we only take on 5 new clients, then they want to be a part of it. It's very basic, it's very standardized, but it does still work. Bonuses, intake window, all those types of things. Value-based pricing, most important part of this. I see a lot of guys in the AI space, oh, should I do hourly? Oh, I bill my client hourly and they get this many hours. Yeah, but then you have to do hourly administration, and there's a lot of points of conflict that can happen. Because then they say, hey, by the way, you didn't put this many hours in according to our administration. Or hey, you were supposed to put in this many hours, why didn't you do that? Right? So there can be more issues arising with it. Whereas you say, hey, I'm helping you save $30,000 in revenue loss potentially, and I'm pricing at $3,000 a month or $7.5 one time. Great, now you can solve it. Although I would say, make it like $15,000 one time, because one time is not how I would do any type of business model in 2025, right? 2025 onwards, everything's gonna go subscription model because it's way more sustainable. And then of course you want there to be a 10x multiplier or better if possible. That'd be nice. Especially to start, because that's going to be great case studies and great testimonials. Because if you can say, hey, my previous clients I worked with had made a 10x multiplier on what they paid me, awesome. Any new clients, like, yeah, I'll pay the $5,000 retainer, no worries, because you're going to make me $50,000 per month now, awesome. Right? And then once you've gone through this whole blueprint, you should be able to finally figure out who do you help achieve what outcome in what amount of time, without the pain points or the issues that they normally would have by doing a certain thing. So I help 7-figure dental clinics get 40 points per month in 30 days without running ads, by deploying a booking system with AI follow-up. Is that easy? Now, in the school community, there's also the questionnaire, and you should go through that one as well, because that makes it a lot more tangible. This is very abstract and very much, me throwing stuff at you. The questionnaire is a lot more in-depth and more interactionable with.